The good news, Steve Atwater got his Hall of Fame ring, Mike Shanahan into the Broncos Ring of Fame. The bad news, well, pretty much everything else. The Broncos lose to their rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders, 34-24, but it wasn't even really that close. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Broncos Postgame Show. Welcome into our studio here at the Pat Bowlen Fieldhouse. I am Phil Milani. This game, a matchup of teams had similar starts to the season. Both teams winning the first three games right out of the gate. Both teams losing the last 2 weeks. A lot on the line here, but clearly the Raiders getting the job done here on this Sunday. Let's show you how it happened. For the second week in a row, the Broncos defense gave up a big touchdown on the opening drive. Here it's Henry Ruggs III, a 48-yard touchdown. Quickly the Raiders up 7-0. The Broncos offense, though, responded. An opening drive touchdown, snapping a 24-game skid. It's Tim Patrick, 23 yards, tied game at 7. After a Raiders field goal, the Broncos have 4th and 1 here. Could have ran the ball, but Eric Sauber was open here. Instead, it's a Teddy Bridgewater interception, his second of the season. The Broncos offense struggled in the first half. Right before halftime, what a pass from Derek Carr. Kenyon Drake, 31-yard touchdown right over Alexander Johnson. Johnson did leave the game after this with a chest injury. The Broncos down 10 at the break. Drake scored again in the third, but the Broncos trying to stay in this one. Maybe the highlight of the game here, Javonte Williams, a leaping 30-yard dash here. It led to a Broncos field goal, but really hard to get back in the game when you keep turning it over. Teddy Bridgewater looking to make something happen, fumbles the ball. Solomon Thomas with the swipe. Bridgewater turned the ball over 4 times today. The Raiders made him pay. Josh Jacobs walks right into the end zone untouched. 34-24 was the final. Let's go out to Empire Field at Mile High and check in with our A-team, Alexis Perry and Eric Dalala.
Thanks so much, Phil. It's Ring of Fame weekend. Broncos and Raiders. Eric, this game had all the makings for one for the memory banks, but unfortunately the Broncos, they lose by 10, but it feels like a lot more. Where did things go wrong for the Broncos today?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was going to go well. You score on your first drive for the first time in 24 games, but I think it went wrong at the end of the first half. Broncos have a chance to score and then get the ball after halftime. Instead, the Raiders were able to score a touchdown right before the break, then another touchdown at a halftime. That really swung things, and after that, the game just felt like it was out of reach.
Now, the defense came into this game ranked second in points allowed per game. They give up 34. They give up over 340 yards through the air. What happened on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary?
Well, just one-on-one matchups that you didn't win. I think 5 passing plays of at least 30 yards for the Raiders. You mentioned that they came in second in scoring defense, but over the last 2 weeks, they allowed 25 points a game, obviously 34 today, and whether it was Ronald Darby a couple of times, Bryce Callahan, Justin Simmons not getting over in time, each defensive back kind of had their moment there where it just wasn't good enough, and it's hard to win football games when you give up that many deep plays.
There's a valiant effort from this offense late here in the game. However, too little, too late. A lot of turnovers on that side of the ball today. How do they clean that up moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, well, they have to find a way. Teddy Bridgewater's been good all year, but 3 interceptions today, 4 total turnovers because he also had a fumble. We're used to Teddy protecting the football, not making that catastrophic mistake. Today, he made those mistakes. Broncos weren't able to recover. Also took, I think, 5 sacks. I mean, the offense just has to be better. 7 points right off the bat, but then you don't really score much at all until the very end of the game. They've got to be more consistent and help this defense out.
Hope to see steady Teddy in Cleveland on Thursday. Phil, back to you.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's examine Teddy Bridgewater's day here. Very un-Bridgewater-like. He turned the ball over 4 times, faced pressure all game long, 5 sacks. For him, very uncharacteristic, I would say. You know, usually getting rid of the ball so fast, but that Raiders defense was in his face all day long. 35 of 49. You usually see a much higher completion percentage from him. 334 yards, but most of that coming in cleanup time. Did have 3 touchdowns in the game, but the big story here, 4 turnovers from Teddy Bridgewater. Let's hear what the Broncos starting quarterback had to say after the game.
Wish I could sit up here and, be smiling talk about a victory. But today was one of those days, man, where you're happy that you got a Thursday night game coming up. Get to quickly put it behind you. I always tell the guys, man, when you win, you point the finger at your teammates, and when you lose, you point the thumb at yourself. And today was one of those days where I definitely point the thumb at myself, man. Take accountability, responsibility for just a lot of the things that went wrong today. Whether it was the turnovers, we could have been better in many areas. But like I said, we get to put this game behind us, move forward, focus on Cleveland.
So that's the offensive side of the ball here, but the defense also struggling. This was supposed to be the side of the ball that carried this Broncos team, was supposed to be a top 5 unit in the league. But the last couple of weeks, a familiar problem popping up for the Broncos, and that is giving up big plays. Today against the Raiders, gave up 7 plays of 20 yards or more. Of course, injuries are a problem here. Alexander Johnson leaves this game. But Carr, he came into this game the second leading passer in the NFL and really got it done. 426 yards passing. And it happened all over the field. He hit Darren Waller a bunch of times, their big tight end. And we saw the play in the highlights. Henry Ruggs III, he finished with 97 yards just on 3 catches. Let's go out to the stadium. Sidney Jones standing by with a player outside the Broncos locker room.
Noah, obviously not the outcome you guys had hoped for. What did head coach Vic Fangio say to you guys in the locker room after the game?
Just saying that we had to reload. We got the Browns coming up on Thursday. They're in the same position as us in 3-3, so we got to process, just watch the film, move on fast, and because we can't let these add up. So that was his biggest message, and then just doing our job, making sure that we're executing and doing the best of our abilities on the field. So.
I know all week you guys talked about getting off to faster starts. You come out first drive of the game and score, but then didn't see the end zone again until the fourth quarter. What do you think shifted the momentum there? Yeah,
I'm not sure. I think it was good to get a quick start. It was good to get a score on the first drive. And then, we had a bunch of errors, penalties, missed assignments, just a bunch of different things that we can improve on that kind of held us back. So we just got to improve on those things and fix those things and try to get back to, moving the ball well down the field.
You mentioned it being a short week. You guys head to Cleveland for Thursday Night Football. How do you guys have a short memory and, kind of regroup and move ahead for Thursday?
Yeah, that's always tough to do on the short weeks. Obviously you usually get much more time. We got to move on quick. I think the biggest thing that helps is, being able to watch the film the very next day or that night. You're already watching film on the next opponent. So studying the Browns, obviously watching the film first on the Raiders, seeing what we did wrong, improving there, and then moving on to the Browns is something that we have to do. So we got to make it happen.
Appreciate your time, Noah. Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Sidney. Obviously a disappointed Broncos locker room there. But the 2 players that really stood out for the Broncos today, if you want to highlight anybody, it would be Courtland Sutton and Noah Fant. Fant finished with 9 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Granted, a lot of this coming when the Raiders were already way ahead. But Fant, after not seeing the amount of targets he'd liked the last couple of weeks, came through with a big day for the Broncos. And then the other player, Courtland Sutton, 8 catches for 94 yards. Could have been even a bigger day for Courtland Sutton. Teddy and him missing on a couple of plays down the field. Sutton also finishing with a touchdown. Let's once again go outside the Broncos locker room here. Matt Boyer standing by with a player.
Outside the Broncos locker room with cornerback Ronald Darby. Ronald, you come off the IR. This is your first game back. Not the results you wanted, but what did it feel like to be out there? How did you feel?
I mean, it's a blessing to be out there. Like at the end of the day, I just got finish on the ball, finish plays.
I know this defense the past couple of weeks has been emphasizing the run, stopping the run. Obviously, you weren't a part of some of those games, but today it was the pass. Vic Fangio had mentioned that the Raiders won some battles deep down the field. What did you see out there on the field today?
That's true. It's like we just got to make plays on the ball, especially the 50-50 balls, and that's gonna get fixed. They just got the upper hand today.
You're one of the veteran guys on this team. You guys play in about 96 hours or so. What's the message to the guys in the locker room and how you turn the page quickly?
I mean, this game over with, so, you can't dwell on it. We got to get ready for Cleveland.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Matt. The Broncos now have to turn the page very quickly and get ready for a Cleveland Browns team that lost a tough one to the Arizona Cardinals. The Browns and Broncos squaring off on Thursday Night Football this weekend. That might be a good thing for this Broncos team, as they'll want to wash this bad taste out of their mouth as quickly as possible. Two teams here, the Broncos and Browns, sitting at 3-3 on the season. That is going to do it for us. The final here today, 34-24, the Broncos losing to their rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders. This has been the Broncos Postgame Show.